Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Be Better Podcast. I'm Dr. Perkins, your host. It's great to be back in podcast land. I intentionally took off 4 months to finish my latest book called Suck 10 Micro Moves to Elevate You from Suck to Significance. Let me give you a sneak peek right here, right now, of what it looks like. Here it is, my labor of love. It is finally ready. It will not be out until July of 2024. It's currently May of 2024. However, you can get in your pre-orders right now by simply scanning a QR code. It will take you to my website in which I sell the book from, and then it will guide you through the process of purchasing my book and setting up a pre-order. And I will get that out to you as soon as July comes. So it's a great book. It focuses on really letting people know it does not take large steps to advance, improve, evolve. It simply takes micro moves to get you back on track with your journey, with your purpose. So pick up a copy today. I appreciate your support. I'm simply just trying to spread knowledge, positivity, and build everyone's capacity. We all need a little push here and there to refocus, reset, reboot, and this book can get you there. All right, today I have what I believe is a purposeful message. It's called Be Better with Leadership Stamina. I'm going to utilize a PowerPoint to help with that visual part of this message because there's a lot of little gems, and I want you to do this. Just listen to the podcast as a whole and just take it all in. And then I'm going to ask you to replay it again, this time with a notepad, and you can stop it from time to time and take profound notes. Because I want you to hear it a couple times so you really can dial in on and process all of these learning gems I'm throwing at you. It's going to be broken into two parts, this message. The first part will focus on leadership. I'm going to break that down because we need strong leaders, and we don't have a lot of strong leaders out there in the world. And then I'm going to end it with micro moves that give us stamina to sustain a prolonged mental and physical state in our leadership roles. So leadership and stamina broken down into two parts during this message. All right off the bat, before I begin, I do want to let you know where I'm coming from as far as my credibility in delivering this message. Some of you may or may not know that I'm in my 30th year in the education field, and I've been blessed to have a storybook career. I've been a teacher, a vice principal, a director at the district level, and I retired as a 9-year superintendent. So I've been in many leadership roles during my tenure. Concurrently, I work for Northern Arizona University as an assistant professor in their leadership department. And I teach a variety of leadership classes to military personnel. Thank you for your service. To educators and to police officers. All of them are going into supervisory roles, and so I help them get their graduate degree in the leadership field so they can move forward in life. All right, 5%. What do I mean by 5%? Did you know that only 5% of people in the world are considered make it happen people? They make things happen. They dig down deep and they get to the finish line with their goals. I'm asking you at the end of this message to be a 5%er. Grab one thing, and just move forward with that one thing. Find something that's easy, exciting, something you have access to resources to, and just grab that one thing. Using those steps and just keep moving forward. And that clarity, if you don't have it at the beginning, will come. So let me back up. I want to make sure. I think I might have confused you. When I say take steps meaning find something easy, something exciting, and something you have access to. That's what I mean. So take a step here, here, and here. In one of those three areas to give you that forward momentum. Be a 5%er. That's my challenge to you. All right. What is leadership? Right here, right now. That's the guiding question for us at the beginning of this message. In one word, what is leadership? Is it courage? Is it character? Is it visibility? Is it communication? What is leadership to you? Right here, right now. I'm also going to ask you this guiding question at the end of this message to see if I was able to shift your mindset a little. If I'm not able to shift your mindset a little, did you learn one or two things? That's the goal here today. All right, I'm going to connect the dots with this message, starting out with a story. It's going to be on the educational side because I come from the education field. But you can take the story and convert it into the business field, convert it into the medical field, and so forth and so on. When we enroll kids into our school systems, we are guaranteeing the parent and the student that your kid, no matter what grade level they're in, they're going to be taught the essential standards at 100%. They're going to know every essential standards for that grade level at 100% before they move on to the next grade level. That never happens, folks. So little Anthony may enroll into third grade at a school. At the end of third grade, I only know, say, 70% of the essential standards. However, they pass me to fourth grade. In fourth grade, I only learned 80% of the essential standards, and they pass me to fifth grade. So you see the trend as I get passed up the system from grade level to grade level, my achievement gap is widening. Now, by the time I get to high school, you know what happens in high school. Our hormones kick in. We're having body changes. We like the guys. We like the girls. We're trying to fit in. We may become disrespectful to our teachers, to our peers, to our parents. We get little attitudes. We may focus more on sports than academics. All kinds of things are going on in our heads because we're growing up. In addition to that, there may be household issues, some dysfunctions in the household. So all those little things I just mentioned could be a perfect storm for dropping out of high school. Dropping out of high school. Did you know when a female drops out of high school, they lose 10.5 years of life? Their life is shortened by 10.5 years. When a male drops out from high school, they lose 13 years of life. Their life is shortened by 13 years. My point, at every grade level, strong leadership is needed. Strong leadership is needed. If you're a teacher, you're a leader. If you're an instructional aide, you're a leader. If you're a janitor, you're a leader. If you're a secretary, you're a leader. If you're a bus driver, grounds crew, you are a leader. It's not just one primary leader and all these followers. Everyone is a leader in the school system. They have capacity to lead. And that's where we're falling short nationwide. Also in education, we've lost what I call our 3 BFFs, best friends forever. Our young parents are no longer partnering up with us. They're pointing the finger, so we've lost them. Our governing boards aren't doing their jobs and creating policies. Instead, they come in with their personal agendas and they create all kinds of havoc. And then our politicians, they're not supporting us like they used to. They should be, the politicians, be required to be in classrooms twice a month, so they can really see what's going on, then take that information back to the Capitol to make true educational decisions for all students. So we lost our BFFs. We got the lack of leadership at all grade levels. We know what happens when kids get into high school and all those perfect storms can happen where they drop out and they lose, they shorten, students are not given the gift of a longer life because there wasn't strong leadership throughout the system. So hopefully you were able to connect the dots with that story and take that story and put it in the setting of business, put it in the setting of the medical field, and so forth and so on. The point, we need strong leaders at every single level. Let's define leadership stamina. The ability to sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. Again, the ability to sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. Leadership is very hard. I used to think 20, 25, 30 years ago it was tough being a leader. Boy, now I really think leadership has become very, very, very difficult. There's a lot of people coming against the leader for whatever reasons. So now you're going to need that stamina to sustain strong leadership character throughout your leadership tenure. And that's why I'm putting this message together. Let's start with what is a manager versus a leader, because most leaders think they're leaders and they're not. Only 1 out of 10 leaders are truly leaders. And let's break that down. A manager is someone who deals with the daily complexities of the job. Again, a manager is someone who deals with the daily complexities of the job. In other words, they're reactive. They put out fires. Fires meaning something negative happens in the building. So if something negative happens, they go and put out that fire. and they go back to their office. Something else bad happens, they go and they put out that fire, that negative situation. That's all they do. They're reactive. They manage policies, practices, and procedures. The problem with that, if you're not a leader of people, when you try to manage policies, practices, and procedures, the people aren't going to listen to you. It's going to be done halfway. That's all managers are. And again, 9 out of 10 so called leaders, they are managers only. What is a leader? They carry these competencies. They understand the oversight of their organization, the foresight, and hindsight. You don't want to camp out in hindsight because you don't want to camp out in the past. There's only a few reasons to look back, and that's to see your progress moving forward and to go over lessons learned from the past that were bad, and you don't want to repeat them in the future. So leaders they deal with the oversight. They have a good self-awareness of the oversight of the organization and the foresight, where it's heading, more in the visionary piece. Where's the company or the organization going to be in 3, 6 months? Where's the organization going to be, the company, in 3, 6 years? They're ahead in that area. So oversight, foresight, and very little hindsight. Also, leaders have this competency of being a leader of people. A leader of people. In other words, they're building that confidence in their teammates. They're not micromanaging them. They're teaching them and inspecting what they expect. And then they're helping them shine. So did you get that? Building confidence in your teammates. They're not associates or employees. They're your teammates because all of you are on the same team. You're not micromanaging them. You're teaching them and then inspecting what you expect from time to time, and you're helping them shine. Leaders also inspire, inspire, inspire. It's not about beating up teammates. It's building up teammates. They build professional relationships with their teammates. They understand, leaders, that gains are not immediate. Gains are hard. It takes courageous leadership to get those gains. However, put deadlines to that goal or that gain and get there. You don't want to leave it too loose where we're going to get to the goal eventually. What does that mean? People need structure, just like kids need structure. Leaders also are visionary, like I mentioned earlier. They know where their organization is going to be in the future, 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, 6 years. They know because they're out there building partnerships. They're out there putting together projections. They're out there seeking funding. They're out there being conceptual leaders, out of the box leaders, and making sure things get done so they can move forward and have a bright future. Leaders also understand the job is thankless, meaning when great things happen, they give all the credit to their teammates. When bad things happen, they take the bullets in the chest for the team. It's a thankless job. Other competencies for leaders. They're impeccable with their words. I see this a lot decreasing. I see leaders saying one thing to teammate A and another thing to teammate B, yet they should be sending the same message. Be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable. Don't be an a-hole with your words, but be impeccable. And here's another difference between a manager and a leader when it comes to words. Managers give great news in person and bad news over email. Did you catch that? Managers give great news in person and bad news over emails. Leaders give great news and bad news in person. Leaders also have great integrity. They do what's right, even if it's not popular, even if it has consequences. They do the right things. They can look in the mirror. They can sleep at night. Leaders understand teammates should be side by side. There should be no one following you behind you. Everyone stands side by side, and everyone is a leader in some capacity. Leaders have impact and influence, and they don't get a big head about that. They make an impact and they have influence, and they don't get a big head. I want to repeat that. They don't get a big head. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Leaders are not really fixers. They observe and coach. Observe and coach. They lead their teammates into fixing the problem with cognitive coaching, with inspiration, with really jumping in and holding their hands and getting them through the process. Leaders also are people who will not be loved. If a leader is loved by everyone, they're probably not a leader. Why? Because they ruffle feathers with their decisions. Remember, 100% of the people will not like 100% of the leader's decisions. This is not a perfect world. Everyone's not going to believe in your ideology, your philosophy, and so forth. Leaders are simply proactive. So, did you catch those? That was a lot really quick. Leaders are people who are proactive and they have all these competencies I just mentioned. So, the second time around, stop the podcast and take notes in this area. Here's some visuals for you. The top person is a manager. They yell out orders, they don't join their teammates. A leader joins in with their teammates and they help with their work. What did I say earlier? They teach their teammates and then they inspect what they expect. They don't micromanage them, but they set benchmarks at certain points. You can call them accountability benchmarks. They check in with their team. How you doing? You need any help? What does our progress look like? Someone sent me this years ago, and I just love this. This is all over the internet now, this picture. Leaders are definitely fighting this every day, making sure their culture is not like this, that people are sharing resources, that people on their team are sharing, are communicating, and people are being nice to each other, people are learning together, and people are truly making sure their mission, why they exist, their vision, what they aspire to, their arrows are going in the same direction, because that's the true definition of a team when everyone's going in the same direction. Leaders also make sure their teammates grow, and grow. They dump knowledge into them, they teach them up, and they offer them opportunities. They want them, again, to shine. Let's pause. I went over a lot of things really quick, and I want you just to pause right here, right now, and just grab one or two things that are sticking with you that you like, that you may want to use in the future. And I'll join you on the other end of your reflective pause. I'll give you 1 minute. Okay, welcome back. Let's dive into micro moves. Micro moves are small, intentional, positive changes in your actions and or behaviors. That's all micro moves are, saying, I'm going to change this little thing here with my actions, with my behaviors, with my language. It could be, I wasn't a person to help my teammates. Now I'm going to jump in and be a person that helps my teammates. I have someone, say I'm a veteran that has many years of experience, and I used to not share my knowledge. Now I'm going to start sharing my knowledge. It could be those little things, again, with your actions and or behaviors, micro moves that, help yourself out and help your teammates out. So we're going to use micro moves to give us that stamina in leadership. So can you make a micro move of making a commitment to decisions? I'm seeing a lot of leaders just not make decisions. When you're a leader, you make decisions. What they do is they're scaredy. I call them scaredy cat leaders. They don't want to make decisions because if something goes wrong, it comes back on them. Well, that's leadership. You gather as much information as possible and you make the best decision from that information. Most of the time you win, a few times you lose. But you have to be a leader that makes decisions. Remember, just not too long ago, I think it was 6-8 months ago, Congress committee called in these 4 university presidents. They were from, I think one was from MIT, Harvard, University of Pennsylvania, and there was a fourth one, because those universities were having a lot of protests against Jews. And the Congress wanted to know, what are you doing about this? Why is there so much havoc out there on your universities? And they asked them many questions, but one that stood out with me was this one. Do you think, Mr. or Mrs. or Dr. President, that it's okay to have these anti-Jew protests on your campus? And instead of saying, heck no, it's not great for anyone to dislike any ethnicity group, they didn't answer the question. They him and hauled around it. Well, kind of, so yeah, but not really. In the past versus modern day, the sky is blue. My mama didn't call me. They just couldn't answer the question. Are you kidding me? You're university presidents. Yes or no? And the obvious answer was it's bad for anyone to be any ethnicity and say bad things about that ethnicity group. But they wouldn't say no. They just had the him and haw around it. And they left there and they got beat up by the media, by people on social media, and two of them had to resign because of the heat behind it. And all they had to do is answer the question. So that my point is, make a decision if you're going to be a leader. Make it a micro move. Or you're someone who doesn't make decisions, scared to make decisions. You're in a leadership role. This is a one-shot opportunity we get at leadership to impact, to influence, to inspire, to help organizations and people move forward. Make a decision. Another micro move, read, read, and read. If you're not a reader, you got to read. Got to read. You got to research and read. This is going to help you with your vocabulary. It's going to help you with your knowledge, and then you can pass all that on to your teammates. So it's important that you stay up on things and read and learn and build your capacity. Shadow other strong leaders. Learn from them, glean from them. But read, read, and read. Reading is very important. Stay away from Sam, and I'm not talking about Uncle Sam. Sam, S-A-M. The S stands for sex. A lot of leaders get fired because they're having sex with their employees. No, no, no. A lot of leaders get fired because, A, alcohol. They're drinking alcohol, getting drunk on the job, before the job, after the job. No need to go there. Go to the gym. Get that stress off. Get some people you can call and vent to. And then the M in Sam stands for money. A lot of leaders get let go because they're stealing money from the organization somehow, some way. So stay away from Mr. Sam. S is sex with your employees. A, alcohol. M, money. A lot of leaders, if you look at the research, get fired over Sam. Make a micro move to practice. Practice, practice, practice. You heard the statement, practice makes perfect. The other statement, garbage in means garbage out. Positive thinking gets positive results. So whatever you practice over here, it's going to be your result. Be in the habit of practicing excellence, practicing increasing your capacity. Practice whatever you think you're falling short on. Make it a micro move to now do. Make it a daily practice to do great things here so your results are at a high level. Perhaps a stamina micro move can be not judging people. Do you judge people? Now, all of us judge people, but it depends where you're at on the so-called judge meter. So here could be you judge people a little bit, but then you catch yourself. Here, you do it in the middle, and here you do it a lot, and you can't help yourself. Leaders, strong leaders have to be over here. We're humans. We tend to judge quickly. There's a concept out there called thin slicing, where we, within 7 seconds, judge someone. And we get a thin slice of them in 7 seconds, and we judge them. Now, how many of us, because I'm going to raise my hand first, have judged someone that quickly, only to get to know them and say, you know, they're a really great person after all. I'm guilty of it, but I'm working on making sure I don't judge people like that anymore. I get to know them. I take time to get to know them. I find out their strengths and really help them with their strengths. I found out their weaknesses, and I support their weaknesses so they can grow in that area. Be careful about judging. There was a cute little thing I found on one of these social media things by accident. I think it was TikTok, actually. And there was this African-American gentleman. He was walking by this really, really nice motorcycle. And this was a really nice motorcycle. I'm not a motorcycle person, but he stopped to admire it. And as he's looking at it, he's eating a banana. He has, I believe, like a half sandwich. And when he finishes eating the banana, he takes his banana peel, the yellow part, and places it on the front of the seat of the motorcycle. People walking by are starting to look at him and criticize him. He doesn't say anything to them. Then he finishes his sandwich, and it's in a plastic type wrap. He takes the plastic wrap and sits it on top of the banana peel. Again, right on the motorcycle, right in the front part of the seat. Now, people are like, what is this dude doing? He's putting his trash on this beautiful motorcycle. He begins to leave, and the owner comes out and catches him and says, what are you doing? You're putting your trash on my beautiful motorcycle. And he goes, no. And he goes over to the bike, and he lifts up the banana peel and plastic wrap, and his motorcycle keys were under it. He was trying to protect his motorcycle by not having people see the motorcycle keys. He was trying to hide the keys for the gentleman. The gentleman thanked him up and down. See how quickly people judged him? But he was trying to do the right thing. He did the right thing. So be careful with the judgment. Get to know people. Build those professional relationships. Eliminate the ifs. If this were to change, if that were to change, it's always going to be an if. In education, if parents were to support us, if school boards were to support us, if we were to get more funding, I mean, the list goes on and on and on. We're never going to have enough money. We're never going to have enough support. Get over it. Eliminate the ifs and do your job at the highest level and continue to grow while you're doing your job. Make health a priority, pretty pleased with a cherry on top. If your mind and body aren't close to 100% or are not 100%, get them there. Get them there. Because if this isn't 100%, I call this your machine, your mind and body, the people in front of you, you can't help. This has to be 100. So do healthy things. Establish healthy habits. If you don't, drink a lot of water. Get your 7 to 9 hours of sleep. Have people you can vent to or activities you can eliminate that stress. Live a healthy life because leadership is hard and you need stamina and it's going to be stressful. So prepare your body as much as possible. Stay away from those sweets, those other bad eating habits, and challenge yourself. What I do with health is this. Have some fun with it. So 1 week, I will say I'm drinking a lot of water. That's my entire goal for the week. Water, water, and water. Then the next week, I might say, let me eliminate some of the meats in my diet. So I have a meatless Monday, a tofu Tuesday, and so forth. And I try to reduce my meat intake for a healthy body. I find with my body, if I eat less meat, my digestive system runs great. I feel just lighter. I feel more energy and so forth. You know your body and you know what you need to do to keep it at a high level. Challenge yourself with different things on a weekly basis. So I did water 1 week. I did a meatless week. Some other weeks, I might just say, I'm going to exercise a lot. And I do that. Spice it up. It doesn't have to be a certain schedule. Have fun with it. Push yourself as a micro move for stamina, leadership stamina, to have a mindset of, I'm okay with change, changing from an existing state to a desired state at certain periods within my leadership role. So I put on here, go from a fixed mindset in something to a growth mindset with that thing, that scary thing that you are afraid to get to. Go from a group to a team. A group, the definition of a group is this. Take your entire team and look at it, and you'll see people are going this way, some people are going that way, some people are going this way, some people are going that way, meaning a group is all over the place. A team, everyone is going in the same direction with the mission, why you exist, and what your vision, what you aspire to as an organization. Challenge yourself in your mindset to move from time to time because you can't stay stagnant. You have to evolve from time to time from an existing state to a desired state. Have a mindset of we-ness along with your me-ness. Leadership is not all about you. It's about the team and your teammates and where you're going as a team, not a group, as a team. Communication is massive. When I work with different organizations, their number one complaint is my team doesn't communicate. Did you know listening is the number one component when it comes to communication? What's funny, in schools, they teach us how to write, they teach us how to speak, but I don't know of any classes where they teach you how to listen. Be a listener. Be a listener. Other people have better mousetraps that the team can use to move forward. Be a listener. And then I put these down here. When you're trying to deliver a message, you need communication skills. Remember, your body language is critical. 55% of your body language delivers a message while you're communicating. Your vocal piece is 38%, meaning you talk strong, you talk with credibility. For example, when a pilot gets on a plane and says, we're about to hit some turbulence, you want he or she to have that confidence in their voice and that they have a plan, not, oh boy, we're going to hit some turbulence. Boy, I don't know. Boy, I don't know if we can handle this. God bless you. Here's some parachutes. No. And then lastly, your words. So 55% of how you deliver a message via communication is body language. Remember, your teammates are watching you as a leader. 38% is that vocal piece, that credibility, strong deliverance of your words. And then the verbal, the words, only 7%. So watch your body language and those vocals. Check your ego at the door, leaders. Leaders, this is a major problem. I've met so many leaders in high positions that think they have arrived. If you're on the job, you're building your body of work. That means you haven't arrived. You know when you have arrived? 10 years after you retire, someone comes up to you and taps you on the back and says, "Thank you for fighting for that student initiative that really helped thousands of kids down the line." That's when you have arrived. While you're in the leadership seat, you're building that body of work. Stop this "I am the leader, I am the king, I am the queen." Stop this ego stuff. Stop it. You look stupid and it's not getting you anywhere. Remember, everyone's watching you, the leader, and they see if you have an ego. Drop the ego. The ego's job is to kill everything but itself. EGO, edging greatness out. Stop being too cool for school. Always being there with your team. You saw that visual picture of the leader being in there with their team I showed you earlier. Get off that dang phone. When you're working with your team, there are two important people, the team and you. Get off the phone, get off the computer, be a team. And I see this a lot. Leaders don't sit with their teammates. They're off to the side. I call it too cool for school, as I mentioned earlier. Sit with your team because you're a team. You're not Coolio over here. You're a team. Drop the ego and sit with your team. You can learn just like them. Why don't people start, stop, or fix what they should? Meaning leaders. Here's some actual research right here. They don't know what to do, 20%. Fears, risk, getting away. Remember, and I saw this on Star Trek, Captain James T. Kirk was telling this young leader, "Son, if you're going to sit in that chair, you got to take risk." I say the same message to you. If you're going to be a leader, you have to take risk. Another stat, lack of skills to do the right thing, 35%. And lastly, 10% don't care enough to act. Be someone who starts things if you need to start things, stop things if you need to stop things, fix things if you need to fix things. That's being a leader. Remember I talked about decisions earlier? Make the decision to start, stop, or fix things. Be that leader. Finally, we're back to defining what leadership stamina is. The ability to what? Sustain prolonged physical or mental effort. Leadership is hard. We get one shot at it. It's a privilege. It's an honor to lead people, to lead teams, to lead an organization. Be the best you can be at it. Keep pushing yourself, challenging yourself. Do the right things. Practice integrity. Be that strong leader. You're going to make a few mistakes. That's okay. You may go back 6 steps. That's okay. But at the end of the week, month, year, you should be further along. So expect some slip ups or step backs. But remember, you're going to move forward. That setback is a setup for your future. Think about it that way. In order for an arrow, when it comes to a bow and arrow, an arrow to move forward, you have to pull it back first and then let go so it can move forward. Micro moves again, small intentional positive changes in your actions and or behaviors. Let's take a strategic pause. We're almost done. A few more minutes left. Thank you for hanging in there with me. I threw a lot of stuff at you, lightning fast. So please, I hope you're just listening to this the first time, and then the second time, replay it and take notes. Pause the podcast to take those profound things that are sticking out to you that you can use moving forward. So strategic pause is you're thinking strategically, how can I use one or two of these pieces of information I just learned in this message? How can I use it? How can I use it? Pause this right now. Pause this podcast right now and start reflecting. This is how learning goes. When you experience something, that's when you start learning. It's not until you reflect on that experience that you maximize learning. Did you catch that? You experience something to start learning, and then when you reflect on that learning, that's when you maximize, or when you reflect on that experience, that's when you maximize the learning. So reflection is key in your job, especially as a leader. because you want to maximize your learning. So in closure, what are you going to do? What's your next step? What are you going to do? Are you going to be a 5%er or a 95%er? Now, you've listened to a lot. Thank you. What is leadership to you? Did you change your mindset from the beginning of this message to now? I gave you some examples earlier. Is leadership courage? Is it character? What is it to you now? Or did you just learn a few more nuggets? And then let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. To inquire or book me for inspirational speaking or training on leadership, this is what I do, folks. And I love to do it. I have, again, many years of experience behind me. And my goal is just to speak to the world, to train the world, to move forward in the world with you. You can scan my QR code to get in touch with me, to inquire and book me for future events. I would love to partner with your company. Again, leave any questions you have in the comments section. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this podcast. I hope you learned something on leadership, on stamina, on leadership stamina. Thank you so much. I look forward to talking to you real soon on my Be Better podcast. Everyone, take care of yourself, and remember, everything starts in your thinking. God bless you. Talk to you soon.